Guys of a Certain Age is brought to you by no one. Absolutely no one. Except these dudes walking down memory lane. Now let's head to the studio to see what they misremember next.
It's that time again where you listen to the podcast you can't refuse. It's Guys of a Certain Age in studio. I am Jay Reed in studio with Art Shirley, who is not going to get to say his own name today. And
wow,
somebody you can tell I'm not experienced at this lead in, but
Jay was caught unawares. Jay, it's like asking somebody to pray before Thanksgiving dinner.
That's right. That's right.
You give them the heads up like at least an hour before so they can formulate their thoughts.
Yeah.
Right. I would have been studying.
And your own, Jay.
I would have been studying this at home had I known I was leading it. So then we got somebody out in Vegas.
Robbie,
correspondent.
Correspondent in Vegas. This is my third time in Vegas, guys, this year. This is crazy. Absolutely crazy. I'm out here for the F1 race, which by the time you listen to this, you'll know who won, but it's probably going to be Max Verstappen. But anyway, that's not our target demographic for this podcast.
Do we have a target demographic for
Do we have
podcast?
another podcast for F1 racing?
There you go. Let's just say our target moves a lot. It's a mobile target, and none of us can seem to hit it. So,
I think it's easier to identify who is not the target than who is the target.
Well, let me tell you, I have seen a variety of characters on the strip here in Las Vegas. I've seen Darth Vader and Mickey Mouse and some girls that the wives of our target demographic would probably not approve of. And so,
are you
sorry,
saying we
Mrs.
would?
Reed. Yeah, just gonna leave that one out there.
Because what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, but I think that's going to just stay.
Unless you record it and put it out there to the world.
That's right.
Well, what's funny is I've got this new little portable Osmo DJI Osmo Pocket 3 I've been carrying with me, and I've been shooting stuff all over the place. It's been a lot of fun. So,
cool.
But anyway, we didn't sign on to talk my F1 Las Vegas journey, even though I think it would be great sometime if we all three came out here to Vegas.
Oh, that'd be fun.
And did a couple of podcasts. But
sure.
The thing is, what would we do together? You guys would be going to musicals every night. Well, I wouldn't.
I'm sure we could find something in common. We all like to eat. There's good food.
We should go when there's a electronics show or something, some consumer electronics thing, and kind of comment on what we see there that we'd want to.
And y'all can just pick me up at the casino when you're finished.
That's right. Jay would be earning all the money to be able to buy this stuff.
There's a Comic-Con in Vegas. Surely.
No, Comic-Con's in
Reed,
San
I don't know if there is or not.
There's Comic-Cons everywhere, Mr. Robbie.
But the Comic-Con is San Diego.
I know that.
Yeah. All right, we're going to do geeks, or are we just going to sit here and fantasize about Vegas?
I guess we'll go ahead with geeks. What about you, Robbie? Just in case your little gadget, your phone, bleeps out on us. Why don't you go ahead and go first?
That gadget we call a phone.
Or if I just bleep out on you. So, All right, as we record this, it looks like the Marvel Cinematic Universe has found their Reed Richards. Vote for Pedro. I don't know that I would have, but I think it's great. Pedro Pascal, star of Mandalorian, star of Last of Us, the Sand Viper from Game of Thrones who got his eyes gouged out. Spoiler alert. Looks like he's going to be Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic in the MCU.
Okay.
I've not seen published from any of the trades like Variety or Deadline or anything like that, verifying that, but it does look like that's the way it's going according to the tea leaves as we record.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm having trouble wrapping my mind around that just from the look. Does he look like a Reed Richards, or is he going to have to, because y'all have seen more of the comics than I do, is he going to have to be made up and dude? And
he's going to have to have white gray tips on the ends of his sideburns and be able to stretch
gray
real
at the
far.
temples. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know that they actually auditioned for that. What's your reach like? But anyway.
Yeah.
So is Johnny Storm actually going to be like a little 5-year-old that he has to get somewhere?
That's pretty funny. I'm going to be real curious how they pitch this, how they get it in. It's got to be, and we'll talk Loki too when we're all. There's a big bus. No, that's a garbage truck that just went past. We'll talk Loki too when we're all in studio
fast was
together.
it?
It wasn't very fast at all.
Watch for
So,
manholes.
G1.
Yeah.
What?
Garbage,
G1 race.
garbage one.
Garbage one. It's like Salvage One starring in.
I know.
Remember
that's
that?
right. Yes,
Yeah.
I just saw it. I saw it. That came up in my feed. I'd completely forgotten about it. It only ran like even if it. I don't think it was a whole season, but
Yeah.
anyway.
Well, remember it
We
was
digress.
a movie first. It was a movie first. They backdoor piloted it into a short-lived series, and it was like the most awesome thing ever. But anyway, Art, what do you think about Pedro as Reed Richards?
Of course, I like him in everything I've seen him in. He's not who, as you said, he's not necessarily who I would have thought was my first choice. I still like John Krasinski as Reed Richards.
Agreed.
I would have liked to see John Krasinski be Reed Richards, Emily Blunt be Sue Storm Richards, and I really wanted Rainn Wilson to be Dr. Doom, but I don't think that's going to happen either. But
yeah.
But
and Chris Evans is Johnny Storm, right?
Yeah, that would be fun. I could bring him back, sure.
Yeah,
it was a great Johnny Storm, but I'm sure they will. Pedro Pascal will do a fine job, but he's not who I would. I'm hoping he doesn't become. We don't become oversaturated with Pedro Pascal.
Well, so we had our fascination for 5 minutes with Jeffrey Wright as the king of geekdom. I think right. David Tennant has probably taken that place between Star Wars and Doctor Who and Harry Potter.
Yeah.
But now in Good Omens, the Neil Gaiman series on Amazon, and but is Pedro now the new leader in the?
I don't know. He's just about in everything, right?
Geek Clubhouse. I mean, Game of Thrones, MCU, and
the DCEU or DCU when he played the villain to Wonder Woman.
That's right. That's right. Man, he may be the new king.
He may be maybe
crossover
bingo card.
So, yeah. So, and one other development speaking of Dr. Doom, there are rumors that with Jonathan Majors, who played Kang in his various variants, Marvel may be moving away from the Kang dynasty in Phase 6. Plus, I mean, Quantumania was just so received blawly, which was very, very Kang-centric. I just rewatched part of that. It was pretty good. It just wasn't. I think the problem with the current Marvel slate, or in the Phase 4, is they're fine. If we'd gotten them before the entire Infinity War buildup, we would have really liked them. But they're just not as good as the Infinity War cycle. But anyway, so we got to get a Doctor Doom in somehow. And there's been speculation that spoiler alert, with the way the Loki series ended up, that Loki could become the big bad.
Really?
Yeah, I've seen that. Because he could come in and the Avengers want to do something, and Loki stands in the way because he's in the middle of the tree like a hobbit or an ent, a hobbit ent. And so there you have it. It's going to be interesting to see. Also, something else I'll tell you that I thought was pretty funny, not to take 20 minutes of geekdom for you, but who's the Short Round? What's his name? What's the gentleman's name who plays Short Round? Ki-Young?
K1.
Oh, yeah. OB.
Yeah. So he went up to Kathleen Kennedy recently and begged to be part of the Star Wars universe because Kathleen Kennedy was a producer on Temple of Doom, so they have a relationship. And he's had this huge resurgence. He had probably the best character in Loki season 2 of all. And it was a lot of fun to see what he did with it. But he wants to be in the Star Wars universe, so we'll see if Short Round ends up as something in Star Wars. That'll be fun to watch.
I can see that.
Something Star Wars.
Yeah, that's kind of the way it's gone. So, but anyway, all right. That more geeks than you possibly want. Who do I need to hand it off to? Who's going to jump into it? Jay? Is it your time?
Oh, actually, let me do mine. Since mine's kind of
related.
Yeah, that's right. Stephen Yeun from Walking Dead, who played Glenn in The Walking Dead, has been tapped.
The moment I stopped watching Walking Dead.
The moment I stopped it too, when Negan beat him to death. But anyway, he has been reportedly confirmed to play the Sentry in the upcoming MCU TV series, Disney Plus TV series. the Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts is right, isn't it? I almost said Thunderbirds. But that's a completely.
I thought that was a movie. It's a series.
Oh, is it a movie?
Or Thundercats.
Is it a movie?
Thunderbolts?
I thought
Thunderbolts.
It was
I believe it's going to be a movie.
Okay, gotcha. And anyway, he's currently voicing Invincible in Robert Kirkman, who also did Walking Dead, the animated series on that. So he's going to do that. He has done that. But anyway, they're going to bring him in as a Sentry, which is kind of their Superman character, one of their Superman analogs. Normally has long blonde hair and is very big. And Chris Hemsworth probably, in terms of the physical type, would have been one that you might thought would have played him. But a lot of people are excited about him playing. He's a great actor. I like him, again, one of those actors I like in everything I've seen him in.
I didn't watch Walking Dead, so I don't know the dude.
Don't know the dude.
I'm sure
don't know the dude.
Fantastic actor.
He is. He really is.
Yeah, he really, really is. He was one of the breakout stars of The Walking Dead. And Jay, you should watch The Walking Dead, Jay.
Are there zombies?
There are zombies. Yeah.
See, that's his, lost me right there.
That zombie. But yeah, it is a movie. It's considered Marvel's version of Suicide Squad. It's going to have Yelena Belova, who was the Black Widow's sister. She's going to be the new Black Widow. Bucky Barnes is in it, and what's the name of the character that Julie Louis-Dreyfus plays? Oh, I know. I can picture her.
Madam Vesper. What was Madam? Yeah.
Madam Vesper.
Now, this is the one that Harrison Ford is in too, right?
Yeah, he's going to play Ross.
Thunderbolt Ross.
And becomes Red Hulk. Is that right?
Possibly.
I don't know for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if that's possible.
I don't know that
Harrison's. Yeah, going to play that.
Lou Ferrigno will come in and take the role of Red Hulk.
He's going to play it with no CGI and just.
That'd be great. Just a lot of red spray paint. Remember Thunderbolt Ross, Harrison Ford stepping in for Jonathan Hurt, who died.
Yeah, William Hurt. Yeah, William Hurt. Yeah,
William Hurt. Yeah.
Although I think both John and William are passed on now.
Could be.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because Jonathan
he was
Hurt
the aliens guy.
Well, no, he was the War Doctor. Come on, get it right, man.
I bet he's more famous for Alien than he is the War Doctor.
I started rewatching Alien, and man, that's a great movie. That's got to be Ridley Scott's.
I would think so.
Yeah, that or Gladiator, which Gladiator 2 is about the lens too. I mean, there's a Gladiator 2 happening. So anyway, we digress. I'll shut up so Art can talk now.
I think I'm done. The only thing I was going to mention, I don't think this. What was your? Go ahead and do your geek, Jay.
I'm just the prelude to my geek is that I don't know if I'm sure y'all have noticed when the actor strike ended, it's like all of a sudden there's just this proliferation of trailers,
all this stuff, right?
All this stuff that all of a sudden is coming out next month or whatever. So, so I guess my geek is just sort of a hodgepodge of that. The one that I'm most excited about is the Jack Reacher season 2 coming out. Is that Prime? I can't remember.
It's Amazon Prime.
Yeah. So that's coming out December 15th. And the previews are, as you would expect. I mean, lots of action, dry humor, to the point kind of stuff. And he is not invulnerable. He does bleed, but I think he's going to win in the end. No spoiler, but that's one that we binged pretty much last time. And I'm excited about that.
He's one, I can't remember the actor's name, but the actor that plays Jack Reacher in this is one that a lot of people wanted to play Sentry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Of course, he was Hawk in
Titans.
Yeah, and
that's
great
right.
actor.
Okay, I was trying to remember what he was. Okay,
yeah. And if you guys recall, Bonnie's read the Reacher book; she likes him quite a bit. But if you recall, Tom Cruise, Mr. Midget, did a Reacher movie, and I mean, Reacher is like 6'6" in the books, and Tom Cruise didn't have the reach for it. See what I did there?
I do. But Wolverine's 5'4", and so
that's
true. So as a fellow guy of a certain height with Tom Cruise, I'll say, hey, look, start doing the other way around too. But he actually played him in 2 Jack Reacher movies.
Yeah, and I thought that I enjoyed those movies, but I enjoyed the series much more. And I'm pumped about that. And then the other one that's coming in December is I think What If season 2 on Disney Plus. So you got another season of that. And then there's a movie that I don't really know anything about. I think it's a brand new concept. Rebel Moon.
Yeah, we've talked about it before.
Did you?
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's coming out, and I was just impressed because it's got like Anthony Hopkins, Carrie Elwes. I was looking at the cast list.
It's really good. It looks really good.
It looks like it's got a lot of action.
It's his Star Wars movie. He didn't get to make the Star Wars movie he wanted to make, so now he's got this R-rated Star Wars movie. But it looks really good, and I'm kind of excited that he's doing what is basically his own property, even though it does obviously borrow from Star Wars, but it looks different enough to be.
It's a part one, and they're already saying it's a part one, so there will be. I don't know if it's a trilogy, but there definitely will be more.
Okay, so did y'all you watched the trailer for it, right? Did you see it during the football game? Did you see it, Robbie, during the football game where they actually talked?
I have not.
Zack
I have not seen it. I haven't seen the trailer yet.
You hadn't seen the trailer yet? Yeah, it's really good. You need to check it out. But anyway, they talked to him before the trailer, and I realized I'd never heard his voice before.
I really?
Yeah.
I don't
so it's interesting to hear his voice. Yeah. But that looks really good.
Yeah. So just a lot of stuff coming, I guess. I mean, I know.
And then there's the Madam
Madam Web.
Madam Web, yeah.
Yeah. Is that coming out soon?
I think it's relatively soon. Yeah. I think it's relatively soon.
And that's got the
Dakota Johnson.
Yeah. Her.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's
50
part
Shades
of
Web.
It's part of the Sony Spider-Verse that does not include Spider-Man. Yeah, that's right. Oh, well, we don't know. What a wicked web we weave, Jay. What a wicked web we weave. Now, Robbie is in Las Vegas, so maybe that's why. Yeah.
Sorry, Mrs. Reed. So, that looks interesting, but Mobius was just ripped apart. Yeah. So hopefully it'll be better than that. One thing that I'm watching that Art and you and I text back and forth. I don't know if you saw any of it at all, but I'm watching Invasion on Apple TV Plus, and it's pretty fascinating. It reminds me a lot of Signs, the R. Night Shyamalan alien invasion thing, where you really don't. It's not a traditional, spaceship comes down, destroys everything type of sci-fi invasion thriller, but it's pretty fascinating. I'd recommend it if somebody was looking for something to binge over the holidays after you got up at the table. And
we watched the first episode or two, and one of the reasons I was watching it became no longer a reason at the end of one of that episode. So we didn't watch it anymore. I won't say any more to spoil it.
And that reason has not appeared at all through episode 8.
Yeah, I think that was the whole thing that reason was going to be gone early, but brought people in.
I think that reason is in season 2, though.
Oh, okay. Well, that may, like I said, maybe worth checking out. I plan to re-up Apple TV Plus again pretty soon. Monster Legacy started a couple of nights ago. Monarch. It's about monsters, but yeah.
Monarch Legacy of Monsters actually drops today as we record.
Oh, it is really? I thought it came out last night.
I believe it's today, Friday.
Okay, yeah. But I get to watch the first episode for free, so I'll probably do that and then start back up. And For All Mankind has probably got maybe a couple episodes, 2 or 3 episodes out already of the new season. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Second app drops this week. I think it dropped today as well.
Yeah. Okay. So that's one we really like, and so that's worth getting
for sure.
Just buy you an iPhone 15 around Christmas.
We're about to do that, I think, now.
Yeah, Apple TV Plus free for 3 months. You get you a new phone. What more could you want in life?
Boom, there we go. Because I think we are doing that. That's our Christmas gift, I think, to each other. But we're going to go ahead and do it sooner rather than later. So yeah, that's a good idea. I didn't think about that. Nice.
Yeah. I'll be here all week. Tip your service.
Will you? I thought you were coming back.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. All right, I'm done talking.
But I did get rid of Disney Plus. I mean,
I was shocked to hear that.
I'm kind of shocked that I've done it too. It doesn't really take effect until the 20th of this month, which is a few days away as we record. So I may break down and change my mind. But
one of my New Year's resolutions early is going to be over holiday break, going through all my subscriptions, including Adobe Creative Cloud, and trying to figure out what I'm not using, what I can get rid of. So
yeah, I probably could get rid of that for home. I don't use it enough.
For all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Maybe at the first of the year we can have what do we decide to get rid of podcast.
Oh, we probably should.
And Jay, hopefully you'll be there.
Yeah. Oh.
Or hopefully I'll be there. Maybe it'll be just, Robbie in Las Vegas.
Be Robbie.
Hey,
He's in residence in Las Vegas. Guy of a certain age. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. The one-man show. So
that's right.
Who's going to talk us out?
Jay Reed.
We will be back after the break.
And we're back. And today we've got something to talk about. We talked about earlier.
Unlike other we have nothing.
This is why I don't do the lead back in, apparently. Something to talk about related to something we've already mentioned is what I was going to say. But then I stopped. I actually punctuated my sentence and moved on to something else. But we mentioned Fantastic Four and that Pedro Pascal is apparently the new Reed Richards. But Jay's recently watched something on Paramount Plus that Robbie and I watched over a year ago. So we have no memory of it.
This is pretty much story of it.
A previous Reed Richards, Miles Teller. It's The Offer. It's the story of the Godfather, the making of that first movie. And Miles Teller played the producer.
Al Ruddy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Great. I really, really enjoyed this show. Did you like it?
I thought it was fantastic. The only thing that kept me from watching it as the delayed us is that we would watch it at night, and Melissa was into it as well. And then she would keep falling asleep. So we'd watch like 20 minutes of it and then, okay, I got to pause. Because it was one thing that wasn't just like me watching a superhero flick. She wanted to actually watch it. So.
Yeah. And it's something you really need to kind of pay attention to as opposed to a superhero flick that you can kind of tune out and go, oh, okay, this is the big bad and they're going to fight. I think I can figure this out.
Exactly.
Yeah. But it was good. I think it was well done.
I just thought, for me, it was definitely well done. I mean, the actors were great. I mean, look at Miles Teller was Al Ruddy. And I didn't know a lot of these people except for Mario Puzo, Francis Ford Coppola. And those are names that I knew. Matthew Good from Downton Abbey played Bob Evans. Yeah, who I've looked up since then, but
the kids
didn't know anything about. Colin Hanks was in this.
Sure was.
Terrific job.
That's right.
Bern Gorman. I'm not sure what all else he's been in, but he was one of my favorite characters. He played Charlie Bluedorn,
right?
The director of Gulf Western. Is that right?
That owned Paramount. Yeah, right. The money behind the whole thing. And he's been in a lot of our genre kind of stuff. He was in Pacific Rim. He was in both of those Pacific Rim movies. Okay. He's also in, and Robbie would, call me remiss if I missed it, but he used to be in Torchwood, which was the Doctor Who spinoff. I believe he was in that as well.
Okay.
Yeah. I really like him a lot in other things, but he was great in this.
I haven't seen those, but and then you had Juno Temple from Ted Lasso, who very different character.
Very different character. Very good. She was just really good at it. Loved her character. And I've always enjoyed. I mean, I've never seen her in anything other than Ted Lasso, other than this.
Yeah, me too.
But I like her a lot.
And I'm going to butcher this name, Giovanni Ribisi, who played Joe Colombo.
Yeah.
I struggled a little bit with his character, although he did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
I can only see him as Phoebe's brother.
Phoebe's brother from Friends. He was in My Two Dads. I think that's the first thing he was in.
Okay.
He's the jerk, not the jerk like Steve Martin, but jerk for lack of a better term in Avatar, the first Avatar movie. He's the corporate guy in that.
Okay, I forgot about that. I've seen that.
Yeah. So really talented actor, but a lot of people do just peg him as Phoebe's brother.
Yeah, and then the other one that I recognize is Lou Ferrigno. He had a pretty big role.
He sure did. Yeah,
and apparently the guy who. I mean, according to the story, the guy who he played actually got a bit part in the movie.
Yeah,
even
exactly.
Though he was
Luca Brasi.
Okay,
yeah,
that's right.
And and one of the things they did in the story, I think it's mentioned in the thing in the show that we watched, The Offer. But one thing they did was you see him at the beginning of the movie rehearsing what he's going to say to Don Corleone and on his daughter's wedding. And Luca Brasi could not remember his lines. He couldn't remember. So they actually gave him index cards so he would be practicing what he was going to say and work that into the characters as if Luca Brasi would be working that out. So that was good. Yeah. Worked out really well.
Yeah. So the cast was terrific. And I think just for me, and I would say this for, I'm going to bring this in. We've talked before, one of my Geeks of the Week a while back, and we talked about this on the book episode that you and I did as well. I recently finished the Tom Hanks novel, It's a long title, The Making of Another Major Motion Picture Masterpiece.
Yeah.
So that was a novel, but it brought in every aspect of making a movie. From casting, from the first idea to the writing to the casting to the production.
I need to read that.
All that. And so I'm reading that and I'm watching this pretty much at the same time.
Yeah.
And there's just so much about making a movie that I had no idea.
Yeah, there's so much of the business and behind the scenes, and I don't mean just like effects and grips and all those kind of things. I mean the actual financing of the movie and what it takes to get it made is incredible.
Yeah, I mean they having an office like in the book they essentially rent a building in the town where they're shooting this movie.
Yeah,
and have offices in it and conference rooms.
Yeah,
and phones
and you've got
notepads and paper clips and all
these people that are part of the business who will never be behind a camera, in front of the camera, or have anything to do with the script or anything, but are just part of the business.
Could not happen. Yeah, could not happen without them. The same thing in the movie. So it was a nice little parallel for me to watch it happen with The Godfather. And of course, with the Hanks book, it's fictional, but with The Godfather, I've seen the movie.
Yeah,
I know what these guys are supposed to look like, and they did a pretty good job.
I thought they did. Yeah,
I love it. And they do at the end of the offer, they do like a lot of times when it's a movie about a true story, and you see the actual picture of who the guy was, Al Ruddy, and all this. And I think we watched there was some behind this. I didn't watch all the behind the scenes things at the end of every episode, but I watched the last one.
Right,
and so you got Al Ruddy talking. And you see what all these folks look like and what they did afterwards. And I mean, for Al Ruddy, just let me say, what an incredible visionary to go from being not in the movie business at all to Hogan's Heroes.
Yeah, that was his first entry into entertainment business.
And if the scene in the movie or the show is to be believed, that was kind of like a second thing. Like they went in to pitch something else.
Yeah.
They didn't like what they pitched. So they said, well, how about this?
Yeah.
And it turns into
turned on a dime and said, well, here's something I've thought about. And it's, you think about Hogan's Heroes and you go, who greenlit this thing? You got to be kidding me. I mean, we're talking about 20 years after. Is it 20? It's because it's early 60s, say 64, 65 or whatever. So we're just talking about 20 years after World War II. And you're making this comedy about a German prisoner of war camp. I mean, we watched it every night. I mean, we loved it. Yeah,
we did too. So to go from that, and then all of a sudden he's doing The Godfather. Now I didn't realize he did something else or try to do something else in between, but The Godfather was this big thing. And so his first big movie wins Best Picture, all the things. And then to go into The Longest Yard right after that.
It did not want to do Godfather 2.
Right.
Yeah. So it went on to The Longest Yard with Burt Reynolds instead of the Adam Sandler version, but the Burt Reynolds version.
The original version. Yeah. And Burt Reynolds is in both of them because I was looking it up the other night.
Oh, he did?
Burt is in the second one as a coach or something like that.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
But
and I love that movie too, Longest Yard. I always thought that
it's been a long time since I've seen it.
It's got some, I mean, there's one scene that kind of sticks with me when his friend turns on the light and they filled it up with gasoline. Do you remember that?
I don't remember. No, gosh.
Okay. Anyway, but good movie. But certainly, and they had somebody playing Burt Reynolds in it too, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Because right at the very end, because they were. I mean, that was the whole thing after he wins the Academy Award. And it shouldn't be any spoilers because that's history. But when he tells Bob Evans that I'm not going to do Godfather 2, I'm going to do my other movie, and he's in the process, kind of a back and forth. He's interviewing Burt Reynolds for the part, and he talks him into it, just like he talked everybody into everything with The Godfather.
Yeah,
but I mean, I guess he won. I didn't see all the thing, but he maybe didn't win Best Picture for The Longest Yard, but it won like Best Comedy / Musical Golden Globe.
Yeah,
so. Yeah. I mean, pretty much everything he touched turned to a gold statue.
Yeah, I can't remember how he continued his career, but it seemed like when I remember reading about him afterwards, it seemed like he had a pretty good career afterwards.
Yeah, I mean,
like that wasn't a one and done kind of thing with Godfather.
I mean, I think he produced this series,
this actual podcast.
But he was involved in the offer. I mean, as far as the producing that, and and
the offer is not based on a particular one single work, but there are a couple of books that I think kind of inform that. I can't remember, they said they pulled a little bit from some things, but a lot of it were from his notes or whatever, from his personal anecdotes. So I think that, much of what happened is his memory of it.
Yeah.
And I know some of the things were, as always, embellished for
dramatic,
for dramatic purposes. But I think a lot of truth is in there. I think a lot of it was what actually happened.
And the whole part of that of the mafia's actual involvement.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's one of the things they showed the picture of Joe Colombo at the end. And, he gets hurt in the movie and he does live a few more years after that.
Yeah.
And the Italian American something league.
Yeah.
Still exists apparently.
But he had to win them over to be able to get the movie made, and had to take out reference to the word mafia, I think. Does it ever appear in the movie? Maybe it's in there once or twice.
Time.
I think he was allowed one or two times maybe to say the word mafia.
Yeah. And I'm assuming it's true. He actually snuck out a print of the movie, literal print.
To show them what
showed
it
them
like
first before it would even premiered. I mean, those kind of things I was just fascinated.
And Sinatra hated the movie. Remember, they had Sinatra in there. He hated the movie. He punched Al Ruddy at one point, didn't he? Or did
I don't know, but maybe.
Yeah, or maybe they almost came to blows. Yeah,
it was. Yeah, see,
did he punch Mario Puzo?
Oh, I'm not sure. I can't remember
because he went up to him like a fanboy kind of thing, and I think so. Yeah,
he definitely did not treat him well, whether there's a punch or not. But yeah, the whole Sinatra thing, because you have all this. Was Sinatra or was he not? Connected to the model. Yeah. They made it seem pretty clear that,
and was he the basis for Johnny Fontaine? That's the whole reason he was so mad about it. But then apparently he was. Yeah,
and he got the guy that was going to play, who was the boy from the Little House on the Prairie, played the singer that they were going to hire to do Johnny Fontaine. And Sinatra got to him, and he decided not to do it.
That's right.
Yep. Yeah. Bad decision.
Yeah.
But just all the things, and again, I'm going back to what I didn't know before I watched this and read that book. So much of the movie making process, and I wonder. I'm sure other movies are similar in just the challenges of getting passing and making decisions about whether the longer cut or the shorter cut, and cutting things. And it was kind of cool to see the editing room floor actually had pieces of film on it. It's back before the way they do it now. But it could have been so different.
Yeah.
If is it Barry Lapidus was the Colin Hanks character? He was Charlie Bluedorn's sort of right hand man. Even if he'd had his way, we wouldn't be talking about the Godfather.
Yeah, that's right. And I think his character was actually like an amalgamation of several real people. Yeah, I don't know that was actually. And I may have him confused with somebody else, but that's my thought, is that he was kind of there were several people that were combined to make his character.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't remember him being in the what happened later.
Yeah.
Reel after the
But I often enjoy watching documentaries on how to make them. But a lot of times they're about the effects or what you did in the editing and the scoring of the thing. And I said those are all fascinating. But to see the business part of it, and of course in dramatization too, makes it. That's why, what is it, 8 episodes?
8 or 9, yeah.
Certainly makes it watchable over that period of time. I don't know that I probably would watch a documentary on some of those things because I enjoy that. But I think it really was you didn't have to be a movie nerd to enjoy this show. The story was so compelling.
Exactly. And I think that probably was the thing. For me, it was both.
Yeah. Because I'd like to watch it again. Paramount Plus is one that
it took me long enough to watch it. I probably wouldn't remember what I saw.
Paramount, we talked about services earlier about what we'll cut, and Paramount's one that I'll come back to again, obviously with Star Trek. But I think Becky wants to watch Yellowstone again, and that may be the only place to pick that up. Now, do you know if there's another place?
It was. That's why we got it.
Yeah.
To finish watching that. There's places you can watch maybe earlier seasons that are not on there.
Yeah.
But to watch the most recent, and who knows if that will.
Yeah, that's going to be a change coming one way or the other on that. Yeah, let's see what happens. It
may just be over.
But
yeah, definitely highly recommend that. If you don't have your own personal Robbie to explain things to you about how the biz works, then I recommend watching The Offer and reading the Tom Hanks.
Maybe we should do something on how Robbie approached us to do this podcast, and the stagger. It's about stagger in where we started this.
That needs to be our sponsor anyway.
And I was going to say the same thing should be our sponsor.
Yeah. Maybe they'll send us to Vegas.
Yeah.
We should work on that. All right. Well, I think, go ahead.
Did you had mentioned maybe we've had some people passing that did you wanted to mention?
I didn't study that. So yeah. But it has been, along with the trailers.
Yeah.
There have been
It seems
a lot
like
of
there's
folks
been a lot of
pass.
folks. And I know we've mentioned some, maybe not, maybe it was Robbie and I that mentioned it. We mentioned several folks
Yeah.
at one point, but I think there have been several. We'll try to catch up on that next time we're together, possibly. We'll see.
All right. Well, anything else for today?
Well, just as we're heading to the Thanksgiving season and then the holiday season after that. So we'll be recording here and there. We still plan to have something coming out every week, and hope you'll join us for it.